So my girlfriend is rated about 7, almost 800 on chess.com, and she just played a game that ended in a discovered checkmate. You gotta stick around and see this, alright? Cue the intro. Alright, we're gonna start this game off with a little d4, d5 action, and we got a London, ladies and gentlemen. A London, and things start to get wacky real quick in this game with c5. Now, her opponent could be trying to play a Steinitz counter gambit, or just doesn't realize that this hangs a pawn. Who's to say? Who's to say? Not me. Not me. So she plays e3. Oh, that rhymed. How about that? A little rhymer. A little rhyme. Call me Dr. Seuss. Hey, speaking of Dr. Seuss, you ever watched The Lorax recently? Like that animated film with like Danny DeVito and whatnot? They have Taylor Swift and Zac Efron in The Lorax playing like the two main characters, and they don't even sing. You have Taylor Swift and Zac Efron, and you don't even have them sing in the movie. Insane. Anyway, we have CD, E takes D4, and Knight C6, and pretty normal stuff. We got our players developing their pieces to good squares, building up a nice center. The knights are coming out. The bishop goes to G4 and back to F5. What? What? Why'd you go to G4 in the first place? If you're going to bring the bishop out to G4, then leave it on G4, because that's the square you chose. Why are you wasting time going back to F5? You know what? The brain of an 800 is a special thing. I don't want to critique too much. You know? It's a higher level of understanding. So we have castles and E6. Good stuff. Developing our knight to D2. You know, getting the bishop out here. And the knight is jumping in. She's ready. She's storming the castles here. The knight jumping into the center. Her opponent goes ahead and castles. But I mean, hey, we've got some space. We're eyeing the dark squares over here with our bishop, and maybe we're looking to play c4, maybe expand here as well, and, you know, see what we're going to do. We got knight D to f3, supporting the knight in the center, so this knight is not going anywhere. All right, let's see what we got. We got knight jumping out to the edge of the board. Good stuff, good stuff. The knight is targeting the bishop, which can just easily move out of the way to e3. If you can keep your bishop, especially when the center is not super closed, it's a little bit closed right now, but it has the potential to open up pretty quickly. It's not like completely closed down. You might want to keep your bishop if you have the opportunity, especially now the knight looks very stupid. And you're threatening a fork. Okay. That doesn't happen. Instead, she plays queen d2. I don't hate the move. It's okay, you know, defending the bishop like this. But here's the thing. Her opponent went here to attack the bishop and doesn't even take it. Instead plays f6, which is, you know, a little bit hasty. I know the knight is annoying you there, right? But f6, I mean, starts to weaken some stuff over here on the king side. Okay. We take on c6, b takes, and now we got some weak pawns on the 6th rank. We got some weak pawns over here. Okay, let's see what happens. We got rook coming to the file to pressure. That's great. I love it. And we have bishop d6. Great. Her opponent had multiple chances to take this dark squared bishop on f4 and instead decides to trade their own dark squared bishop off. This is a good trade. This is fine. Bishop for bishop, great. You don't want to let your opponent just, you know, playing this, just take your bishop, because now they have the bishop pair in a position that could be opening up. But, you know, if you can trade bishop for bishop, why not, right? And we have knight to h4. What a clever move, hitting their bishop and trying to take the knight over here. And also you're threatening a fork once again. The opponent plays g6. What is g6? I don't even know, man. This is just so weakening. The f6 pawn, e6, h6. You're just weakening the king. All of this. Why are all of your pawns on the 6th rank like this? What are they doing? You shouldn't be pushing pawns in front of your king for no reason like this. Also, it just hangs a fork. G4 is a clean fork. The knight's got to move, and yeah, that's a bishop. You're just going to be up a piece. Yeah, it's just a pawn fork. But she doesn't see it. It's okay. She takes the bishop instead. I'm not mad about it because now you got a nice bishop. Although, I will say that instead of c4, taking this knight looks pretty good because these pawns look terrible absolutely terrible. The queen is getting in here and is going to bully the king. The rook is going to lift up and start trying to mate the king as well. This is just not a good pawn structure to have. But hey, she doesn't take the knight. It's okay. c4, looking to open up this diagonal here to get to the king with the bishop and the queen. I don't mind it either. We have f4 and c5. Okay. So we thought the idea of c4 was to open up the position and get the bishop more active on these, open diagonals. But instead, she sees me attack queen, I attack queen. Must be a good move, right? Not necessarily. You're closing it down with c5, and yes, you attack the queen, but it's a one-move threat. The queen just moves out of the way, and now you've locked the position, which isn't, the worst thing in the world. You could still possibly target these pawns on light squares in the future and still take this knight. This is still a good move, just weakening all of these pawns here, and this is just crazy. You ever see a pawn structure like this in front of the king? Insane. Okay. She doesn't take the knight. It's all right. What do we have instead? We have g3. This move hurts. This move hurts my soul just a little too much here. g3. I mean, there's no need to push the pawn in front of your king. You don't need Luft right now. You're okay. And if you did want Luft, push like h3 or something. But g3 just asks your king to be open up. You got the knight and the queen staring at the g3 square, and you are literally inviting. It's like if Scream, the monster, not the monster, the like Thrasher villain guy, the Scream mask. It's like if Scream were knocking on your door with his little scythe and everything, and you just, instead of running out the back window, fully just open the door and just stand there waiting to be killed, right? That's what g3 is. It's like, come on in! Okay, I'm not scared at all of... Wait a minute. Well, that wasn't right. Her opponent had a great opportunity to take this pawn, right? And then after takes, to sacrifice the knight this way. Because after you take, it's a draw via perpetual check. King h1, queen h3. And if you try to run to f1 instead, this is not good because the rooks start coming in, right? And you start to get attacked over here. The rooks are going to go here and here, and you're looking a little scared over here, the king. So you'd have to go for the perpetual. But her opponent takes with the knight first, and this is wrong because after you take the knight, you don't have to take back on g3 and get that perpetual again. Instead, she finds h3, which is a great move. h3. H4 is also good, bishop f3, but h3 to avoid the perpetual check and the queen getting into the open king. So we have h3 and our opponent's still trying to push here, but this just weakens these light squares, which she takes advantage of. Oh yeah, here we go. We have rook e8, and then here she sees, I can give a check. I'm gonna give the check. Yeah, but okay, the king moves out of the way, and now you're kind of stuck in a little rook sandwich here, and you're kind of stuck with the responsibility of keeping this bishop defended, which, you may not want to be tied down to in the future. So just because you can give the check doesn't mean it's a great move. Instead, just keep the bishop here, or start targeting things over here, but just this random check, you want to keep the rooks open. Anyway. We have bishop e6, the king moves out of the way, and rook e3, looking to maybe get this pawn, maybe double rooks as well. Good stuff. We got queen into f4, trying to be a little aggressive here. Maybe if this queen moves away, getting into f2, or, it actually does pin the rook to the queen at the moment, so that's something as well. And we have king g2. King g2. This is a blunder. Yeah, this loses the game. Why? Rook e6. Yeah, rook takes e6, and you can't take back. Well, you lose your queen. And then the game, because you're just going to, queen f4 and king g2, and it's not good. g4 is coming now, and these pawns are going to get going. Your rooks don't have time to get anything going on this king, so yeah, you can't do that. You don't want to lose your queen like that. So you would end up just be stuck, losing the bishop. And also the rook is still pinned, so... Scary stuff there, scary stuff. But her opponent does not find this. No, sir. Instead, h5 happens, further weakening the king to try and attack this king. But we just have rook f1. And let me tell you, if this queen moves away, bad news. Bad news for the king. Computer says you have to run to e7, walking into like a discovered check. It does hit the rook, to be fair. But if you try to run this way, then after rook e5, and, you know, you can try and sacrifice the rook here, but the queen's getting in. And king h8, it's not good. Queen h6, and you're practically getting mated. So, yeah. Great opportunity there if the queen moves away. However, her opponent does the correct thing, and, well, actually, no. The correct thing would be to take here and sack the queen this way, so that after rook takes e3, queen e3, pawn takes, you get this position. It's still completely lost. But her opponent does similar things, sacrifices the queen this way, except in this case, you don't get the rooks off the board, so it's still bad either way. So king takes queen, and the pawns start flying off the board. Her opponent tries to get something going here with these passed pawns, but it's not going to work. We just have king g2, you know, and then this pawn just starts going on a little journey over here. It's like a kid riding a bicycle saying, "Look, ma, no hands!" And the pawn just marches all the way down the board, right? Except to fall flat on its face. Yeah. And meanwhile, this king went and took these pawns over here, having a good snack of pawns. And here's the beginning of the end, my friends. You thought it was over already? I mean, not yet, but here it's over. Because normally this game with 700s and 800s would last like 50 more moves trying to checkmate each other, right? But no, in this game, king g6, and the king is walking the plank, marching to his own death. King g6, bishop f5 check, and now the king has to go back to g7, but instead the king goes up to g5, and look at the eval. It's mate in one, because the bishop cuts off the king this way, the pawn takes this square, the king like willingly walked up into a square where it would be out of air, and any rook move here results in a discovered checkmate on the black king. Look at that. The queen, the bishop, the rook doesn't even have anything to do with it. All the rook had to do was move out of the way, and the king can't go anywhere. This is checkmate. Insane stuff. Discovered mate. Oh, man. And also, this was by accident, fully. You think she saw that this was discovered mate before she played it? Absolutely not. She even told me. She went, "I wanted to take the rook," and then the game ended and said, "You win via checkmate," and she went, oh. Because let's be honest. We would all just go ahead and take the rook, and then it would pop up and go, "Badoot, you win," and you go, oh. There she is.
I won so good. I won.
You did win so good. My camera's about to die. I have to end this video. Oh, no. Well, hey, if you made it to the end of this video, I just want to thank you as always. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like the video, make sure you like the video and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Give me suggestions for future ones. And I hope you have a great day, guys.